All right, let's get right into it. OpenAI has just dropped a massive upgrade for the image generator inside ChatGPT. It's called GPT Image 1.5, and trust me, this is way more than just a little update. We're talking about a change that could completely reshape how we all think about creating images.
And wow, this quote from Tech Radar really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The big promise here is basically putting a professional-grade visual studio in everyone's hands, one that understands plain English. You don't have to wrestle with crazy complicated software anymore. So let's dive in and see what this is all about.
So, what's the secret sauce? What actually makes this new model such a huge leap forward? We're going to pop the hood and take a look at the key upgrades that are making all the difference.
Okay, so right off the bat, the speed is a huge deal. We're talking up to 4 times faster. That completely changes your creative flow, you know? But it's not just faster, it's smarter, a lot smarter. It's way better at actually understanding what you want, even when you throw complex stuff at it, like a crowded scene or text on a sign. And get this, there's a new Images tab that makes it super easy for anyone, and I mean anyone, to start making amazing visuals.
Now this might be the single biggest upgrade. If you've ever used older image AIs, you know the pain. You ask it to, say, change a person's shirt from blue to red, and suddenly the whole background is different, their face looks weird, the lighting's all wrong. It's so frustrating. Well, GPT Image 1.5 fixes that with what it calls localized edits. It can change one specific thing while leaving everything else, the face, the lighting, the mood, exactly as it was. For anyone doing creative work, that is an absolute game changer.
So, you might be thinking, okay, that sounds great, but where's the proof? Well, this isn't just marketing hype from OpenAI. Microsoft has been putting this thing through some serious internal testing, and the data really backs up these big claims.
And here's where the rubber really meets the road. Just look at prompt alignment. That's basically how well the AI listens to you. It's now at the top of the pack. And for tricky stuff like diagrams and flowcharts, a massive jump in performance. Then there's face preservation, which is up over 10%. These aren't just little tweaks. This is a serious step up in making this technology reliable and predictable.
Of course, lab tests are one thing. The real test, though, is what happens when you release it out into the wild, right? So let's see what actual users are saying now that they've gotten their hands on it.
And the first reactions from places like Reddit, yeah, they were pretty much glowing. People were just blown away by the immediate jump in quality and the kind of amazing images they could create right off the bat. But you know, the AI community, they're a skeptical bunch. So right alongside all the praise, you get comments like this. The clock test is this classic challenge for AI models because historically, they're just terrible at drawing clocks with the right numbers or hands. It's the community's way of asking, yeah, it's pretty, but is it actually smarter? And as people started really pushing its limits, well, some of the old problems started popping up again. Getting it to write actual readable text is still a bit of a coin flip. One person flat out called its infographics complete trash. That little yellow tint some of us noticed in the last version, yeah, it's still around sometimes. And the clocks, well, they're better for sure, but still not always right. So it's a huge improvement, no doubt, but it's not perfect.
Now, we have to remember this isn't happening in a vacuum. GPT Image 1.5 is stepping into a pretty crowded ring with some heavy hitters already there. So the big question is, how does it really stack up against the competition?
If you dig through the discussions on places like Hacker News, a pretty clear picture starts to form. GPT Image 1.5 is the new king of steerability. It does exactly what you tell it to do, which is amazing for specific edits or professional design work. But when it comes to just pure, jaw-dropping image quality, a lot of pros still give the edge to Nanobana Pro. It's that classic trade-off, right? Pinpoint control versus raw aesthetic power.
And this number right here, this 90%, it really drives that point home. This is its compliance rate from a benchmark test. In plain English, that means about 90% of the time, the model does what you ask it to. That makes it one of the most controllable, most steerable models out there, which, for a professional workflow, is incredibly valuable.
But hang on, because there's a whole other side to this story. As this Hacker News user points out, all the big companies seem to be in this mad dash towards perfect photorealism. But what about art that isn't trying to look real? For that kind of stylized, creative work, a lot of artists still swear by tools like Midjourney. It just has a certain artistic flair that the others are still trying to find. So with everything moving this fast, it's probably a good time to just zoom out for a second and think about what this all means for creativity itself. I mean, just look at this timeline. It's wild. Just a handful of years ago, AI images were kind of a weird novelty. Now, we're talking about professional-level tools being built right into the apps we use every single day. The speed of innovation it's breathtaking.
And what this is all leading to is a future where our creative tools aren't all these separate programs anymore. Adobe is already working on putting Photoshop tools right inside ChatGPT. So picture this. You're in one window where you can type a sentence to create an image, and then, without going anywhere, you use Photoshop to tweak it. The old walls between different creative jobs are starting to crumble.
But with all this incredible progress comes this one giant unresolved problem: copyright. These AIs are trained on billions of images scraped from all over the internet, a lot of the time without permission from the artists who made them. And that opens up this huge can of worms about ethics, ownership, and what it even means to create something new.
Which really leaves us with this final, massive question. As these tools get more powerful and easier for anyone to use, the very definition of being an artist is changing. When a machine can create a masterpiece from a single sentence, what does it mean to be an artist? It's a question we're all going to have to answer together. Thanks for joining me.